This time, PuckChamp, they first pick the Nyx Assassin. The Pango is going to be the 2-3 from Nemiga. And PuckChamp, they know that last game, they banned the Bloodseeker, and Nemiga would be looking to do the same thing, so they instantly lock in this hard counter. No matter where it's going to be going, this Pangolier is not going to have nearly the same impact that Melis had on it, at least as easily. And speaking of easy, let's talk about this Ursa lane, right? Because Ursa Warrior into the Mars, there's a bit of counterplay here, but at the end of the day, it's not a lane that Mars is going to be expected to get a lot of farm out of.
So we were expecting this Mars to be an off lane. They do play Mars mid on Desperate, so it could still be a Mars mid as well if they don't want to put that up against the Ursa.
It's a good point.
Yeah, I like that too, actually. I would like to see a Mars mid.
Well, there you go.
So you pick up
the Lina looks... I guess that could still be a Lina 4.
It could still be a Lina 4, and you pick the Nyx 5. Alliance does this sometimes in FNG. It's not crazy, or even Lina 5. Both Noping and Beast Coast do this as well. Like, it's not crazy. But what I like about this pickup is that it offers you flexibility in case you feel like you need to fix your lanes at some point, right? So I like that idea. Because a Lina 4 this game, or sorry, a Lina mid is, against a Pango, it struggles sometimes. Pango just beeps right into you. And it's difficult for the Lina to do anything but run away from the Pango. And if you're an offlane Pango, you just, instead of going for Diffusal Blade like last game, this game you go for like a much more utility Pango with Yule Scepter, Blink Dagger, Lincolns, because that's, of course, how you deal with the Bloodseeker and the Shard, of course. And yeah, you have a good way to deal with the Lina.
Nemiga are banning out what I would say position 4's Bats, not normally always play position 4, but is sometimes, and Hoodwink nearly always is 4 or 5. Whereas PuckChamp are taking out that Enigma, which we've not seen very much. Why would they be doing that?
We see a lot of Enigma bans in Eastern Europe because, I mean, every single region was playing it a lot last patch during especially the end of life. But you can still pick them up now, run it as a jungler, run it as an off lane, run it at a 4 or a 5. And the thing that's really annoying about it is that if it's a good Enigma game, even if he's a really bad hero, the game all of a sudden becomes about him, right? Much like this Bloodseeker, right? He's not a great hero, but because he's in the pool, Pangolier just has to change the way that he plays this game. And that's super annoying to play against. That adds so many problems to your draft, so many problems when you try and pick these fights. And this hero is actually very comparable, I would say, to the Nyx Assassin. And this gets into my point I wanted to make here, which is that PuckChamp, they're such an annoying team to draft against because they play Nyx, they play Pango, they flex so many heroes between their mid and their off lane, and last patch, their position 5 as well. Like, they do this so effortlessly. And I think the fact that Nemiga so far are carrying themselves nicely in this draft is also a testament to how much experience that these guys have as well. But I just wanted to get in that quick quip because I don't think I had the opportunity in the previous two casts, or previous two drafts, I should say.
Excellent quip. Get them in while you still can. With this Pango, I want to talk about where it's likely to end up. Are they still going to be comfortable putting this mid with the Bloodseeker, or is it now going to be relegated to an offlane position?
It's a tough one because Aincrad loves this hero. I know the Chosen One also plays it. If I'm seeing this draft, I would rather see it as an offlaner and play full utility rather, and pick up a different mid laner with more impact. That's why I think taking out the Enigma and the Axe is important, because these are two offlaners that can fulfill the role of a 2 if need be. So now Nemiga has the choice of, like, do we let Aincrad play this hero, or do we go for this? I wouldn't even say smarter, but safer choice, right? Of letting him be offlane and picking up a more impactful mid. And they are going to beat the Lina mid, by the way. So they feel like Lina's pretty strong in this game, which, okay. I mean, I guess if you counter the Pango, that's the only real way to catch up to the Lina. So that might be a solution. I don't disagree. You can't really pick up a Clockwork here, for example, now. They go for something like a Storm, actually, mid, and it would be pretty decent.
Yep.
Nyx
I was going to say the exact same thing. Nyx aside, because Nyx, of course, being the big combo breaker, but we don't have the best setup in the world for him. Lina with the Yules is pretty scary for sure. But, you know, if you ball Lightning far enough, you're not going to take any damage from the Rupture. It's an idea. It's an idea. The only issue I'm not really in love with about it is that an Ursa is not the worst core I could imagine. That, like, you know, if, hey, Ursa, we need to fight early, Ursa's like, okay, I can itemize for that. I can go Diffusal. I can do this. I can do that. He's not like your Medusa, who's like, sorry, there's nothing I can do. I can't fight early. So maybe it's not that bad of an idea here. Maybe you can go for no way you do Leshen to Nyx, and it's banned anyway. So.
Leshen's also bad against Bloodseeker for some more reasons, so the Rupture. Because Storm, by the way, you don't take damage in Ball Lightning regardless of how far you go. Never. You're invulnerable during it.
Good point. I don't know why I was thinking of Void Spirit. Sorry.
The Dragon Knight, which could be offlane or could be mid. I would expect that's going to be off lane. Mid Pango, they don't mind after all. And Bloodseeker being picked up in the carry role with a mid Lina and a 5 Witch Doctor to take us through into this crucial final elimination game. Both of these teams, tournament and TI hopes on the line. Can this Bloodseeker carry PuckChamp through to the next round, or will the Pango roll on through? I'm going to leave it up to our casters to find out. Let's go.
I admire the courage by Nemiga to go and still trust Aincrad on the Pango, right? Despite it being a pretty, I mean, he's up against a Mars, which is pretty good, but like besides that, you will struggle a bit, right? So I like this. I like the courage. I think if you're mid Pango, you might be able to get enough farm relatively early because you farm so fast. If you go for like a Maelstrom build, for example, and then you can actually itemize into Lincolns relatively early, and that solves your problem, of course. I mean, there's ways to cancel it, but once you're in Rolling Thunder, they have nothing that's pierces spell immunity unless Lina picks up an Aghanim Scepter. So, and then you have a solution for the Lina as well. I think Dragon Knight's also a good solution for the Lina this game. You can jump with the Pango, so I don't think the Lina is free.
It's true. Yeah, I will say I actually really like the Witch Doctor pick. I think PuckChamp kind of read this, saw that there's only a few offlaners with Blink Daggers that are going to be able to close the gap to the Lina and make life difficult. One of them is the DK, the more popular, the more meta option. The other one that comes to mind is going to be Centaur. And both of these heroes are absolutely crushed. Not too much in the lane, but in the game generally by Maledict. It's so much damage. We've got great nukes to combine with it. And of course, the combo breaker in the Nyx Assassin that could prove to make life rather difficult for them. So I did like that last pick, Witch Doctor, just because we didn't really get to comment on it too much. But you are right. Eventually, the Blink Dagger here on the DK to close the gap onto the Lina is going to prove to be very problematic. Pangolier, he might be restricted a bit from swashbuckling and rolling around because of the safe lane Bloodseeker, but you know, that's going to come down to the positioning for Krelat and whether or not he decides to fight early on the hero.
So I just want to clarify that obviously since a Bloodseeker pick, I have to go with that draft no matter what. But I think both drafts are solid. I agree. I think the DK pick is a good solution to the Witch Doctor. I mean, he's still going to suffer, but he doesn't rely so much on his high HP as much as he relies on his reach and armor. So he has ways to mitigate that damage, which means Maledict is not as impactful. And again, the Death Ward, obviously he survives pretty decently. Mind you, he's still a tanky hero, so Witch Doctor's going to be annoying, but what else do you pick in the offlane?
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that's kind of what it boils down to. I'm really curious as to whether or not we're going to actually go for the Spirit Vessel build, the Earned into Vessel build on the Witch Doctor that we do tend to see. We don't have any Wyverns, we don't have any Phoenixes, not a huge healing game, but it does really allow the Witch Doctor basically to solo kill the DK if the time should come. Speaking of the time, there's going to be a very nice stuns all the way around. It's going to be the Runes picked up there by the Chosen One at the cost of a lot of his HP, but he'll be able to regen that one up relatively easily with a stack of Tangos and head back into lane with a smile on his face as Nemiga grabbed 3 of 4 starting bounties.
Yeah, I don't love the Vessel this game, if I'm honest, because both Pango and Ursa, you have a Dispel, right? Then the Enrage. Eventually with the Shard, you have the Roll-Up and also the Earth Shock, which is the Dispel. And it's useful against the DK, but that's pretty much it to me. It doesn't do much against Lion or Willow.
Good point.
I would rather he itemize for, like, even a Solar Crest would be decent, a Glimmer Cape, anything like that.
You're right. That's a really good point. Because BKB is like 3rd item on DK no matter what, and he's going to be there eventually. Nice stun there, though. Blood right early to zone out the DK. Of course, all this pure damage is going to go through all of that armor. Of course, doesn't have the point in Dragon Blood yet, but eventually we'll be able to tank the right clicks coming through from the Bloodseeker. Talk to me about, I mean, I think it's a bit early, but just because, of course, while we're still focused on the top lane, this Bloodseeker Shard, what do you think chances we see it this game?
It's good against DK if he gets out of control. Not too great against Ursa, to be honest. I'd rather he itemize status resistance. Against Ursa, the matchup is not the easy. Oh, the Shard, by the way, in case you guys don't know, it deals a percentage damage once you activate Blood Rage of the enemy's HP. Very similar to how Feast does, and it heals you for that amount because it's pure damage. So it's pretty good, but it's not great if what you need to do is kite the enemy carry, and against an Ursa, that's pretty much what you need to do. Because he's going to beat you in the 1v1 almost always. So I like more the S and Y build, like Maelstrom into S and Y, and just go for stab resistance so you're never caught in a position where you can't run away. The combo against Chosen One with Maledict plus the Blood Right's going to hurt him a fair amount. And we actually have seen some Bloodseekers go into multiple points of Maledict for this very reason. In fact, Chosen One might die to the Maledict? No, not enough, only level 1.
Yeah, level 1 Maledict. I'm surprised he didn't immediately consume a Tango, because that would have kept him safe. He is given plenty of thirst speed, though, to Kreelot. Won't bother him for much longer, though. With that healing cell freshly given to him by Heaven, he'll find himself ready to fight once again. Speaking of fighting, as Aincrad and Desperate kind of skirmish over the mid lane water rune, it's going to be bottled eventually here quite easily by the Pangolier. Desperate, though, will sip on his own freshly delivered bottle and get some more hydration going. Making sure he can continue farming and fighting versus Aincrad as necessary.
Yeah, that lane is not too easy for the Pango. No surprise, obviously, Lina wins most lanes against melee heroes. The Pango, I think, can hold his own compared to a lot of other melee heroes that are not tanky, mind you. So, I don't think it's too concerning right now for Nemiga. They'll get their farm on Pango regardless. And he's a great hero at recovering as well. I think it's fine. Not your ideal matchup, but Aincrad really wanted the Pango, honestly. We could tell this game. At bottom lane, I think what you said in the draft stands true. Ursa puts a lot of pressure onto the Mars. You kind of push him out of the lane. You might need a bit of regen, because Mars can kick you out and harass you a fair amount, but you're fine for the most part.
Yep, we've got a line for that. And speaking of regen, he is going to queue up that Morbid Mask. Maybe for the full Mask of Madness, probably not. I think just an item to help him jungle a little bit more efficiently without needing to go for any regen or stats items. Another Maledict. This one looks like it was a level 2 onto DK. We'll get him down to half HP, but he still, again, has another Tango. And the point in Dragon's Blood, which all that regen is going to do a lot to cancel all of this Maledict damage. It's a mean combo, though. Blood right into Maledict. Pure damage, not going to be reduced a bit. And can really start to add up.
Yeah, I think now the DK has to be a bit careful. Actually, I'm gonna check. Let's see, could go for the 1-1-1 build, or
Going for the sampler.
no, 2 points and thirst. Okay, I mean this is the better build for catching and everything. Sometimes with Witch Doctor you might want to go for the second point in blood, right, for that potential, but like this you're never gonna kill the Chosen One. He just avoids it really easily, right? You harass him a fair amount. Well, unless he makes a mistake, I don't think it's gonna
Level
die.
2 Maledict.
That's it.
Gotta be...
Yeah, but Krilla doesn't want to chase too hard. If you really want to win this lane, you might want to go for you go for like an over corrosion, and the DK actually struggles against you a lot. But that deters your farm, and it's just better to go for the Blood Rage. In fact, the better build now would be to actually take the next 2 points in Blood Rage, because those are very high value points, and then you start going for Maelstrom farm out of control.
Yep, we just need to get through those infused raindrops, and then they can look for kills. Bottom, Astral is taking the Ursa on the line for a bit of a walk. The Cockroach through the jungle is going to be leading away the Bear and the Lion, but eventually Bear decides he wants to hit some more creep and making sure he's not losing out too much. That's the thing, right? Ursa, incredibly easy to kite, including in the laning stage, even by the simple stun that Nyx carries.
Yeah, so I think both carries have a... I mean, Ursa's definitely having a much easier lane, right? And then you can go for the Fusil Blade build that you talked about and really out-tempo PuckChamp for the early game. Seeker's not the fastest hero, honestly. You do want to take a while to get online. So it's I think the early game is really going to be the Ursa versus the Lina and see how much Lina can do to keep the Bear at bay. Usually a decent matchup for the Lina until Ursa gets Blink Dagger, though. So there's that point to be made.
Pango, by the way, going for that first item, Yule's Scepter, before even the Blink Dagger, so just looking to make sure he can set himself up for a permanent Rolling Thunder. It's a great counter as well here to the Lina. Best way to counter Yule's is with another Yule's. And that same could be said here for Melis if he decides his first item needs to be the Yule's for whatever reason. I think for him, though, he'll probably end up with the Blink Dagger. We need a great way to initiate and follow up if a Nyx Assassin is able to find a good target, and I think Blink's the item for that. Desperate already going to be expected to go for the Yule's, so no need to double up on that.
That's true. I think the Yule's is very impactful in this game to just get some save for you and deal with the Ursa. Lodine, nice body block actually while still being a frog, and now Lodine should die here just to a Malik damage. Desperate actually will get the last hit, perfect. His first blood is exactly, or mid laner is exactly who you want to give the first blood to, and you get the Lina off to a decent start. With all 3 cores in PuckChamp being actually pretty okay. The Pango did struggle in the early game as expected, and we'll have to recover in the mid game a bit more.
DD Rune might have him look for an opportunistic kill. No lucky shots, though, so he's going to be off and away. And, of course, just to highlight the differences in our Pangolier players, no points in the mid lane, unsurprisingly, of course, versus the Lina for Shield Crash. Aincrad, normally he will put a first point into Shield Crash if he's against a melee laner, but Lina quite literally the opposite of a melee laner, one of the highest ranged carries or mid laners in the game, so no real use for that this time around. So good flexibility here Just showing off the experience here. Again, these aren't just, meta picks for the mid lane Pangolier. These are big comfort picks for our 2 Pango pickers, respectively.
Yeah, like who are you gonna, like how are you gonna get her to shield crasher, right? Ever, I think, in that lane. So I think it's appropriate to go for this. What I'm interested in is actually build up going for the Yules immediately. I think this is the right build against the Bloodseeker, mind you, but it is also more of a utility Pango build. So if he wants to be of the carry Pango that we often see on Ankrad, you honestly do need to rush the Link into this matchup with like a Maelstrom to help you farm. This is more going to be just having another team fight here, which means your damage is either going to be reliant entirely on Ursa or Ursa plus DK. A DK who's struggling in the top lane.
That's possible, right? Because you've got Lion to help you with your initial bursts. There's the first Rupture. Speaking of this top lane Bloodseeker, we have to save Coconut in case he tries to TP out. Maledict apply, doing plenty of damage. Breathe Fire can reduce the efficacy here, though, of that Maledict. Out comes the Coconut with a secondary target. One more Maledict tick is going to condemn him. Down he goes. Stavion will fall. And Heaven even is going to be picked off there by the Laguna Blade of Desperates.
Nice, and they get a good rotation from Desperate, actually. Even a stack for him, which is not bad. I mean, yeah, Bloodseeker can take the stack, but so can Desperate. Like I said, you're playing around the Lina mainly in the early game. And this early game is looking good for them. And because you're still nullifying the Pango, I don't think Desperate's too worried about anything that Nemiga can do. Nemiga might have to wait for their Blink Dagger timings, at least early, if they want to fight them.
They will, and they're going to find it a little bit difficult now, even with the DK, to apply pressure across the map, because take a look at what Lina's got flying to her already. It's the BOTs. So she's going to be able to deep push these waves, kind of just force DK off of these towers early on. And honestly, at this stage, there's not much Nemiga can do about it. So we're going to have plenty of time to farm here for our PuckChamp cores to make sure they can get their items with respective timing, and then try and back up their Lina as soon as they do have items on Nemiga to close the gap.
Yeah, exactly. Once they do that, I think the game becomes easier for Nemiga. Right now, it's all about staving off aggression, which we've seen they can do really well. But last time it was with a Deucer, right, when they won that game. And this time they're actually playing with an Ursa, which puts a lot more pressure on you having to execute and do things early, which might be to the detriment. We'll see. Kiritich is going to take a while since he gets that Pink Dagger, since he needs the Diffusal Blade first. So it has to be the DK.
Arena missed.
Oh, good Arena. That should be enough to kill the Willow. There we go. And Desperate even wants to take a tower as a result. Very active rotation from PuckChamp, much more so than Nemiga.
Yep, and they might be able to even secure this tower because they find Aincred. Ooh, the Impale misses, unfortunately, and the Spike Carapace wasn't going to do much to stop him from swashbuckling away. Hex, though, onto the Mars. Melis without the Arena, without Spear, without mana, and without life. Oh, he's going to get the Spear off on a Kiritich, which forces him back. Aincred rolling on in, trying to collect the kill. Breathe Fire still not enough. He's going to go instead straight for the Lina, but he's going to bleed out along the way. Krilat's TP in, immediately showing why that's the counter, and the 5 tips immediately from PuckChamp with the spray on top from Krilat. They are in their comfort zone. 7 unanswered kills right now, Avo.
Melis was the last to tip because he partially knows how painful that feels. So
yep, true.
That guy.
I'm sorry, brother.
I know it sucks, but we had to do this to you. It's the TI on the line, and I mean it's just gonna be so easy. That's why I suggested you might want to itemize. These Rolling Thunders are just not gonna be able to catch up. In fact, Desperate, I think he acknowledges as well how free he is going to be this early game, and he just goes for Boots of Travel. No need to use your early point of inflection. Instead, just going to farm a bunch, as opposed to trying to go for kills, which, honestly, I like this idea, too. Your timing on the Bloodseeker is still around the 15 to 20 minute mark, usually when you grab the SNY, and usually the BKB on top of that. The Mars can start rotating, where you're going to be waiting for his first item, so he could be a bit greedier in this game.
Yep. Yep, Yule's next there for Desperate. We'll see how this is going to work out. Of course, it does set you up perhaps to be about 2,000 gold short of a BKB when you could need it. Astral is maybe looking now to set up for a kill onto the Chosen One. Sentry Ward placed down, but Astral standing just outside of vision. We've got Lodine and Aincred both ready to counter initiate as the cask actually going to bounce back towards Lodine. Not level 6 yet, by the way, on our Lion. We'll be able to get there quite shortly, and that's going to be the first tower taken here. Not much of defense mounted by PuckChamp. They will get a solo kill though onto the Willow, even rupturing her to make sure she falls. Why not? Pretty short cooldown. Want to make sure that you can get the kill.
Yeah, but you need to protect the Roshan now. With the rupture gone, you lost that option. I don't think they were considering that Kiritich might go for a Roshan just yet. With the help of the Pango, it even becomes easier. Of course, Lucky Shot with the disarm means Kiritich can hit it endlessly, and that is also minus armor.
But they've seen him walking a Roche with this ward. It wasn't dewarded yet, so they know he's in there, and it looks like
you're right. Never mind.
they can't contest it in time.
They didn't smoke in, did they? No, they just walked in.
No, I think they just walked in. I think they saw
Okay,
no
so
rupture, we fight.
I guess they just don't want to contest it at all, and that's it. I mean, it might even benefit you because you can't take the first Rashad, and then you wait for the second Rashad, and you take it from them, and you have a shard for free for the Bloodseeker. Right?
That is that's some 9-head thinking right there. But hey, it could work, and you know what? If it's a really fast Roche, what is it? It's 5 minutes and then a 3 after. You'll get it right at the 20-minute mark potentially if it's the fastest Roche on respawn possible. So you know, ultra efficiency.
I mean, it's not even that crazy. I don't think they're actually thinking that far ahead. I think they're just thinking, it doesn't matter. They're not going to do much because they lack the initiation still. They need Blink Dagger on the DK. Which I think
you say that, but Kiritich is about to finish off his Diffusal Blade. Next, straight into the BKB, so he is gearing up for some early clashes, I would say. Not necessarily within this Aegis, sure, granted, right? 5-minute period is not long, and I think you'd like to have BKB, but it's coming sooner than later here on this Ursa.
You do have Blink Dagger about to come on the DK, though. He's very, very close to it, so that might be the starting shot. Well, talking about him though, unless they hunt him down, if they hunt him down, then he's done for, and it'll take him a while longer. Usually when you're so close to finishing an item, there's two kinds of players. The ones that try to finish as soon as possible by going for any kind of farm, and the players that go, oh no, I need to be super safe, I don't want to lose all this work. Minecraft, you see him, there's the arena. He can still roll, but first the Yule Scepter, they don't have a Bloodseeker, they're not going to need him. Minecraft's down. Oh my god, come on. And Melos this time is the first to tip. He's like, I don't even need a rupture to kill you, brother.
Yeah, he doesn't. He says, I got you. Anyway, man, should have swashbuckled. He's like, he's backseat gaming his Pangolier performance. He's like, no, that's not what I did last game. I didn't die. DK in some trouble, but in the river, it's actually Kiritich cutting off the Witch Doctor, affected by Maledict, but of course not bothered by it at all, as he is going to slap the Witch Doctor to death. DD Rune spawning in the river. Astral's going to look to try and protect this. Is desperate. He's going to farm that one last camp and then probably look to pick it up. Being ultra efficient with all of his moves. Bottle refill, DD Rune. Top tower's a little bit too far gone to fight over, and of course we still have this Aegis and now a Diffusal Blade on Fuzzy Wuzzy. Blink Dagger on the Chosen One just delivered. It'd be a bad time to fight, but a tempting time regardless for PuckChamp around this DD Rune.
Let's see. PuckChamp. They have the DD rune, so maybe they're just looking for pickoffs rather than trying to. Oh, that's a great pickoff actually. Aincrad, no, unless Desperate, he has to snag it out. There's the Laguna Blade. Only the tip from Ducalis though, because Desperate's trying to get away. What are the rest of the tips? Are they out?
They're not out yet. No, they've only tipped Aincrad, so they're just saving him. You only get 3 tips per lobby though, so per 3 tips per game, of course, as every Dota player.
They want the bigger one. Oh. Lodin. I don't use all 3 tips. There's the Lion dying, but Dukas might die as a result as well, so support for support, not a big deal. They did force Nemiga to TP here, but since most of PuckChamp is here anyway, with a Blink Dagger, now they can start going for some kills. It's going to be Melis, it seems like. Cursecrine should stun him. Melis trying to get more space between him and the enemy. For now, Melis is still alive. He actually gets to blink himself to safety. PuckChamp will be able to save their Roman God of War.
Yeah, he is off and away. And a rough start for Nemiga, at least if you go by kills, but also just by net worth. As both cores here, the 1 and 2, respectively, out-farming Kiritich. He's closing the gap at least to the Bloodseeker. And again, they're not too interested in fighting him with this first item, Diffusal Blade. But that has allowed him to just continue farming. With BKB, he does become much harder to kite. Yule Scepter, great against an Ursa, because status resist does not reduce the time that you are flying in the Cyclone. And of course, Lina, very natural builder of said item. You can push him back. You know, the push isn't going to be reduced by status resist or anything like that. So they've got ways of still dealing with him. But as soon as BKB comes online, those options are extremely limited here. It basically just becomes Rupture from there. But you don't want to apply Rupture while he's in Rage, because it'll last all of 2 seconds.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's that's why the matchup against the Ursa is not like it requires some precise execution. And I mean, it's also the kiting that you have to do afterwards, right? You have to be a bit careful with how you use the Rupture, how you kite that hero.
That is a
big kill.
Nothing for Aincrad to bounce off though. Yules in time from Desperate. Oh, he just dodges it. The jukes.
Oh, Desperate. I mean, the Yules now is an offensive Yules, but I think Desperate's fine. Here comes the Ursa. Okay, never mind. There's the reinforcements. But those were some impressive footwork from Desperate. Well done.
I think,
Even if he dies afterwards because he was in the wrong position.
Definitely. I think he's had to probably play a few pub games. They're very similarly ranked here, all the PuckChamp guys, around top 90 to 130 respectively. So I can only imagine Desperate's had to juke a couple of Melis's Rolling Thunders. It says, Aincred, he's like, don't worry, dude. I know exactly. Don't you worry. I'll be able to dance around your no problem. I wonder what Ducalis is going to use, by the way, for this Staff of Wizardry, whether it'll be another Yule's or just the Force Staff instead. Both really tempting options. Probably going to be the Force Staff. I think a bit of a better item because you can use it to save your cores, but we'll see what he decides. Blink Dagger, though, really paying off for the Chosen One. Aegis reclaimed on Fuzzy Wuzzy. He's still a little bit far away from that BKB, so I don't expect him to be looking for any aggressive fights until that's up. The issue, though, is that Mars is actually going to be going for this secondary Yule Scepter on the team. I think this is a pretty good decision. I know I said I wouldn't like it, but I should have specified I don't want it first item for Melis. After the Blink Dagger, I think it's an acceptable purchase here.
Alright, Melis, they're continuing to push down this bottom tower. Gillette, why not? Keep putting pressure. And Lina, you're seeing Desperate already deviating into that physical damage Lina, as we tend to see these days. Blood Rage being given to Desperate. Okay, Desperate, he could be in trouble here. They left him behind. Grillet's like, oh no, I left my mid laner behind. Coming in to help, he has Rupture, Aincred, no! He has to ult to himself immediately. Lina could still die. They actually won't need to terrorize. The Swashbuckle will kill her. But in exchange, they will take Aincred's life and Heaven's. So seems like a fair trade for PuckChamp.
Yeah, top lane, Melis was also able to snipe a kill onto the Lion. So that's going to stop this push right in its tracks with Karateech and the DK unable to siege this tier 2 tower any longer.
Alright, what's the plan, Nemiga, to get back into this game? I feel like this mid-Pango is really, really struggling. He had to do so much, he just can't, like he went for the full utility Pango, so you're relying entirely on the Ursa. But I do feel like PuckChamp has enough tools to deal with the Ursa, honestly. You have some really good guiding spells, some annoying things like Cask, actually, which are perfect to get him stat resistance. You already have one Yule Scepter. Actually, you might get one of the Mars as well. Oh, actually, just got it. So two Yule Scepters now to deal with the Ursa.
It's got to be the BKB, really, is what it comes down to. Like, this BKB, at this stage, and normally this is not the case whatsoever, but because you're down 6k, because their draft naturally counters yours in more ways than one, you have to turn this game around with this fresh BKB that Ursa's now slowly about to finish up. Unfortunately, he went for the Diffusal Blade, hoping that maybe he could find a couple of good fights with Aegis. Obviously, with only 4 kills for the entire team, that hasn't been the case. PuckChamp now, knowing that Aegis is on cooldown, are going to smoke up looking for a fight. Aincred's actually going to break this one, but that's not going to stop Astral as they want this fight up top lane. Melis, in fact, traps 2 inside the arena. Reinforcements are coming, though. It's a great little bit of a blood right to try and slow them down. Terrorize, though, is going to connect onto 4. Their Chosen One going on in as Aincred free to roll around to the fights. No chance to capture, or to cast rather, the Rupture means that they are free to now get the team fight of their dreams. Maldict and Deathward not going to be doing enough work from Ducalis as they're only able to get off the Willow in exchange for their mid and safe lane carry.
That was a really good fight by Nemiga. I think PuckChamp just realized they can't just fight haphazardly. Yes, they're doing really well this game, but it's not an auto win. You still need to continue playing as precisely as before. And coming into that fight, like they got stuck in the brambles, you know, they got surprised there by the Dragon Tail stun. They tried to reposition through the wrong. Like if they had just gone through the right side as opposed to the left side, they would have been fine, right? But they tried so hard to be aggressive that they ended up being punished. Nemiga is not just dead already. Right? Yeah. There's a difference between winning and one.
And I think the huge part there is that the team was really scattered, because I think 2 heroes out in front. There was a 4-man Train from PuckChamp running top lane. Melis was a bit early on the arena. I think he was expecting reinforcements faster because there was some miscommunication. Aincred broke smoke because he was also heading towards the same destination. He broke the smoke of the 2 backliners, which means they weren't there fast enough. That means Melis was a little bit too early on the arena. Someone turned around maybe to try and stun, or whoever, you know, look for whoever broke their smoke, but they just made the call to keep on running, and they were just a bit disorganized heading into that one. That wasn't even the fight with the BKB, by the way. We've already chopped 2k of that network lead away from PuckChamp, and now Karateech with BKB available, and Roshan respawning in a minute might be able to fight themselves back in this game.
Yeah, this Roshan is very important. The shard is huge for Ursa. Actually, I would say it's probably the biggest shard of this game as a whole. So it might be enough. Ursa might be a killing machine now. I mean, you still have the tools to kite him, but this shard giving you the enrage for 1.5 seconds, also reducing the Ursa cooldown by 1 second. A part that I don't know why it exists as part of the shard, just like a little bit of more OP-ness for this shard. kind of brings back the Ursa into this game, as they're not going to be able to kite him as easily. They'll need the Yule Scepters then. He already has a BKB, as you explained. Krillad, though, has his own BKB.
Yeah, and they're going to smoke
wanna
up
fight
that
this
Arcane
Roshan.
Rune. Tempting. Aincred, oh, he went for it, and he didn't even pick it up either. The LSA is going to not catch him. He gets off his own Yule Scepter first. He's got a blink. Oh, he's going to be in the air outside of the arena, but still dead by the time he lands. Kiritich then is going to be ruptured up. No buyback for Aincred means he can't get into this fight as much as he'd want to. Kiritich not going anywhere as Melis is going to bonk him. Battle proc the BKB. Kiritich looking at TP out, will be allowed to do so. The spear flying through him, not quite catching the Chosen One. That's going to leave the Blink Dagger available for him as Heaven left behind is going to be very quickly disposed of.
No, but this is still a huge win for PuckChamp if they can take the Roshan afterwards. Lodin trying to get some more space so the team can actually come back. Yeah, that's why they know. They want to force a dieback, but Lodin just wait as much as possible here. They got the Hex first. Lodin, there's no TP. No, he's not getting away. At least he gave him a couple more seconds, so Pango might be able to come back, but I do feel like PuckChamp should just go into the Roshan pit. They're not the best Rosh takers, but...
Oh, we don't have any minus armor, Avo. Desperate's completely out of mana, so he can't really fight this. Krillak can definitely do it, but over time. So PuckChamp actually, they're going to make the call to smoke up. Look for a fight top lane. They're not going to find anyone here. Vision planted down as well. Nemiga backing up. We could BOTs in on this top wave that's pushing real hard. In fact, Lina doing that now already. So in case Nemiga weren't aware something is coming, now for sure they know. There's this ward, though, on the high ground that PuckChamp have placed quite a while ago, 5 minutes ago, in fact, exactly. And that's going to let them know about some rotations out from the base of Nemiga. And maybe now, yeah, they're going to try for the Roshan. It seems like Nemiga are not going to be able to get here fast enough.
I don't know. I don't think they're going to take it that quickly. I feel like Nemiga does get a chance to fight here. How far is the Rosh? Okay. It's quicker than I expected, but
Astral
they have time. They're able to get... Astral broke the smoke, you're right, but Astral might just die as a result. The BKB, they took the Roshan in time, though. There we go. That's the very important Roshan. Maybe they might lose some people here, though, as Lina in trouble. Desperate activated his own BKB. Now running away from the arena. Desperate just trying to get some more space. They burst out the Chosen One. They all got Aincred as well. And Kiritich can't catch up to Desperate. One last strike array. Using the vision of the pit to his advantage. Desperate. Seemingly unkillable. Oh my goodness, this Lina did work that game.
Absolutely incredible. Lina somehow lives through all of that. The Rupture does massive work. Shoutouts to the Nyx Assassin who just throws himself into the smoke gank. He dies immediately, but Ursa was so fast to pop BKB. He was expecting a huge counter initiation off of that. Maybe the nerves, maybe it was this, maybe he just really wanted to get that kill. Either way, the Roche fight goes excellently. Melis with a great arena, keeping everyone alive. Unbelievable. I can't believe they made it out of that fight. Was so much, Avo. There was 4 heroes dead, 5 heroes dead, and only the Nyx Assassin is lost.
Also, remember I talked about how great it is to itemize properly with Bloodseeker? Look at his build. The right choice here. BKB before finishing the SNY, because you knew you had to fight earlier, just to get that point of inflection quicker. So smart on Krillak. Now he gets the shard. I did mention that you don't want to go for the shard, but if you get it for free, of course, really, really good shard. So why not? And Krillak now looking very, very powerful. I'm assuming, yeah, there's the SNY now finished, and now you are good to go. You're strong enough to fight pretty much anyone on Nemiga here.
Yep.
Can Aincred ever build a Linken's this game, by the way? Or anything to deal with this Bloodseeker?
The Linken's is queued up now, but because he went for the first item Yules, it didn't really result in much. Again, Nemiga only have 7 kills, right? So obviously it didn't result in much. He's 1-6-3, and now the arena is out. They're going to look for the pickoff onto Ladine. They've got him dead. Aincred, though, with the shard to play into the Yule Scepter. Terrorize here. Should be able to pick off Melis. The rest of PuckChamp not too eager to fight because it's really just the Nyx Assassin nearby. That is a 7 times kill streak ended. Gold given to Aincred, who will now return 1 tip here to Melis. Just the singular tip.
Yep.
Plenty of gold now is going to make a good dent into the cost of this Linken Sphere that he's now got queued up on the Aincred Pango.
Yeah, it's important to get this Linken's now as soon as possible, as he's realized that without it, he's just not going to be able to play. You need a mid laner, and DK didn't really fulfill that role, swapping from the 3 to the 2. I don't think he could be a secondary carry, and they also realized that Kiritich is too easy to kite. So you have to stop. You have to, get another plan here for Nemiga. PuckChamp still seems pretty much in control though, with the Lina and Bloodseeker. You have 2 solid cores here. Even the Mars actually pretty farmed.
Rush 9-second BKB for the Chosen One. don't really want to fight into this Aegis, but like you don't have much choice. Like this core to core doesn't get much better with time, unfortunately for Ursa, especially if you're not using this time to farm. Chosen One again with this Ags will be kind of a secondary core here, but Aincred, he's got a lot of control in these fights, but right now it's Kiritich, you know, everyone holding it down for Ursa, who's just going to swing wildly and look to punch everything he can. Astral almost has the full Ags Scepter already, so Burrow is going to make these fights just so difficult for them to take. Desperate just laying into the tier 3 tower now. Has gone for this Fiery Soul Stack talent at 20 with the Daedalus, with the DD rune. Yeah, he's punching mighty hard as well.
Even the Blood Rage as well, which Bloodseeker's occasionally using on Desperate. As carry Bloodseeker, you don't have as much liberty. Oh, mid lane. Lodine. Good Earth Spike, actually. They're going for the Nyx, but the force step. We'll save Astral for a second. He's trying to get back into the arena. He won't succeed. However, they managed to finish off the 2 supports already as Bloodseeker's hunting for more. Krilat, he can't stop this TP. So they're going to have to settle 2 for 1. Nyx losing his life for that, though.
Desperate one-shot a courier. A gem exploded out from underneath the courier, and he just completely walks past it and ignored it. A little bit of a whoops. He was just really eager to get back into that fight, look for damage. That's one way you can cancel BKB TPs. Careful, though. Aincred is going to back up. Melis knows where he is, but he's going to be able to get the shard in time to make sure he's not able to take any damage. Blink Dagger then up to the high ground. PuckChamp, though, they're looking for some action down bottom. Good effort by Heaven as well, who was looking to at least pop the BKB for Bloodseeker, but no dice there, as now Lodine going in solo is going to die. Dead only for 30, but not much achieved there with that death, unfortunately.
Yeah. He took it down now on easy lane Rex and Nemiga. What are you going to do now here to defend this? Oh, that is a suicidal play by Aincred. Yule Scepter, is that a bait? But the Rupture's not going to cancel him. He's trying to go in place, but he's just going to die. He's bleeding to death, Richie. And with the shard, DK is cannon fodder for Krilat.
He just reclaimed, but I mean, what does it matter? They're into the base. Aincred, yeah, you can buy it back.
Choo-choo.
You don't even have, yeah, choo-choo. You don't have
That's the feat train.
roll. You don't have roll. They're not scared of you, Aincred. They took care of the DK in the midst of that fight as well. In he goes. Finger of Death applied. They're trying to get through a Desperate. Oh, the Yule Scepter in time. Astral is here. The stuns and the control into Kiritich. He's been kited out. He's been kited out by the self-heals of Desperate. Aincred jumps in. Will finally be able to get the kills secured. They're chasing after him, though. They want him bad. PuckChamp, eventually, I think they're going to go back and start to hit buildings. At least that's what Melis and Ducalis have in mind. But Astral and Krilat have other plans. Aincred, though, a bit too tough to catch. So finally, this Lina will die after they were unable to kill her in that last Roche fight. But it cost the life of the Ursa, as well as the mid lane barracks, at least the melee ones here. So it's still turning up well here for PuckChamp.
Yeah, I don't really see many options for Nemiga this game. I'm not gonna lie. I thought they were gonna deal with this. I thought they had some sort of ace up their sleeve to deal with the Bloodseeker counter of the Pango, but it didn't seem like they had that. And now you just have one less core. I think DK has also been completely countered now that the shard got picked up. Like, it's good enough to deal with him completely. He doesn't do much against it. The Mars is still very strong for them. The Ursa, if there wasn't a Lina, I feel like the Ursa would do better. But there's just so much on his shoulders. He needs to jump on the Lina first and kill her, then somehow win the mano-a-mano against the Bloodseeker. During this whole ordeal, pray that Nyx, Assassin, Witch Doctor, and Mars are somewhere else, because otherwise they kite him. It's so tough.
Yeah, lots of problems right now, and not many barracks or buildings standing in between you, your Ancients, and ultimately your chance here at TI and Nemiga. What an underdog story for these guys. You know, Kyle made that post in between Season 1 and Season 2 and said, hey, there's no open qualifiers for TI. These open qualifiers for Season 2 are your best bet. Nemiga, I think, are going to be one of the stories I think people will tell, whether they're for or against this current DPC season. Because making it this far proves maybe the system works, but the BKBs are out. That's a good catch onto Melis. Aincred has got him in the pinball zone, and there's a kill. Much needed one here onto the Mars. It's not going to swing the game back under their control, but it at least is going to delay what might be the inevitable. Not unless Nemiga go for a smoke play, though. They're going for more.
Yep. Nemiga, they want to at least take advantage of these small kills they're getting, right, and just try to push the few chances they have of this game, going for these risky plays. trying to force PuckChamp out of position. The
Wait, they
smoke
have
did
Lina?
just catch him, though.
Grid is setting up for her. There's
Oh,
TP's coming.
that's
It's
big
the Willow
deal.
quite far. Desperate has BKB. Yeah, he'll fight you through the roll-up. And Desperate's just going to TP away. Too much damage right now in this Lina with Daedalus. Third Roche is up in 33 seconds here. It's a bit of a fast one. We'll have Mars by then. And Nemiga, I mean, they're making the right calls. They're recapturing the outpost here, looking to, and they have set up plenty of vision here. Chosen One on the prowl, but they've got him with a sentry, miscommunicating though. They've stunned him and used him at the same time. The cask though is going to actually bounce a couple more times, but ultimately it's not going to result in any kills here for PuckChamp.
PuckChamp not really stressed out about the situation, though. They just need to wait it out. They know there's not really a point of inflection coming unless they play super, super defensive for the next, like, 30 minutes. So they're just going to wait out the right choice. Maybe go for a smoke now and try to regain the high ground because they don't want to fight in the low ground, ideally, here. Chosen One will reveal his smoke, but Chosen One, fine kill, honestly. Just go for the Chosen One instead. Oh, BKB in time. Here comes Melis. They're actually just killing him with physical damage. Chosen One's just gonna die to the Lina here with a Force Staff, saving her for a second. Desperate as the Glimmer Cape Heritage. Still being kind of finally catches up to the Lina. But he's wasting his time with his Yule Scepter. Desperate going every way, but wherever Heritage is, finally acting the BKB. They're stunning him. Aincrad just died, and Heritage will follow suit as he's unable to catch up to Desperate.
Yeah,
Chosen One. He popped back for this.
Lina
They don't
in
want to go
trouble,
for him
actually.
instead. First Heaven. Okay, yeah, Desperate. They caught it from behind. Nemiga to surprise them. These are all the buybacks. All the buybacks from PuckChamp as well. We can do this too, they say. As Lodine's the target, Impale immediately killed. They want to go for Heritage as well, but they're very spread out, and PuckChamp already used a lot of their resources. They don't want to get caught with their pants down just yet. But Seeker, not much movement speed because nobody's really low. Instead, go for the Roshan, who is not going to move.
Yeah, Karateech is looking to see whatever he can get, a Koi or anything, but he's going to be left without really much to grab at as Roche will fall the third time in this game. Refresher Shard now into the inventory of Melis. That is going to be Karateech, unfortunately, left without the fight that they needed. It was a good effort. They are eventually able to catch up to Desperate there on the second counter initiation from the Lion. But in go PuckChamp right down the mid lane. They're looking for tier 4s. Aincrad's dead for 40. Look at the attack range and the speed on this Lina. Fortify is out already as the D wards are in effect. Ursa still behind, just farming in the enemy jungle. Maybe looking for the Basher, maybe giving up on hope here. But the tier 4 towers are going to give out first. As now they'll scout Ursa. He's coming back into fight. Throne's exposed. A lot of Fortify. Krelat taking a bit of damage. They hit him with the Terrorize. He has cheese, but no Aegis. The Force Staff away will get him out of harm's way. Karateech now trying to fight, but the bashes into the Abyssal Blade. Dead for a minute and a half. Down he goes. The Chosen One. He's not going to be able to escape. GG is the only way out, and it's going to be Nemiga falling in 3 to PuckChamp.
What an impressive game by PuckChamp. I mean, obviously they drafted them a lot of favors, but they played this game wonderfully. We mentioned that if Pango got denied, there was not really a way to catch up to the Lina. I think that was exemplified like 3 big team fights where Desperate seemed unkillable. The only thing I'd say is that maybe this would have gone differently if Nemiga had chosen to go either for a Pango 4 or 3, right? So put him in a less protagonic role, or alternatively giving him a Linken's first. If that would have been his choice, then maybe, at least in the mid game, they had some sort of recovery. But as it stood, it just seemed impossible for them, honestly.
Well, only 1 slot available. That means only 1 team can make it. Lots of teams eliminated. Navi, we bid adieu to already, and now we will say goodbye to Nemiga Gaming. We're going to go on and highlight their journey through the lower bracket and talk a bit more about PuckChamp with Daniel Hoffman when we come back after a short break.